Moving back, so where I first discovered your work was some of the typography things that you're doing and variable typography. Could you explain what variable fonts are or variable typography in a?
Yes.
If it's even possible to explain.
Yeah, no, it is. So variable fonts are like, you know how you have fonts at the moment and you have like a bold font and a regular and maybe a semi-bold or a black or something like that, and they're all like individual files. A variable font basically combines all of those into one file. But what it does in addition, which is what I love about them, is that it interpolates between the values. So like when you would represent a font weight in code, you'd go 400 for regular, 700 for bold, 900 for black. You can, with a variable font, have 400, 700, and 900 all in the same file, but because it interpolates between the values, you also get like 401, 402, all the way up to 900. So you can get like that perfect weight for whatever you're designing, or you can have a few extra ones in between. So I think the way it's being described best to me is that it's one font file that acts like many font files.
Yeah.
And so as a result of that, people who are good at making fonts, so font foundries and stuff, have started making a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So you can get a font that has all different weights in it. It can also have like width, so a narrow version, like condensed font, or really wide, and you can have that. You can animate those or transition between the width as well, or you can go from italic to not italic. Yeah. There's also optical sizing if you're a font nerd and like that stuff. Or my favorite part of it, because I like to make the text effects and stuff, is people make like effects in the fonts. So like there's one that kind of looks like a Slinky, the toy. Yeah. The Slinky, where it's like, looks like normal letters, but then the axis allows it to sort of stretch out, and it creates that like repetitive effect of the letters leaving, I guess, kind of like an after image behind. Yeah. Or there's one that drips, which I think is really cool. So I feel like variable fonts have allowed people to make some really cool creative things that can also be animated. Yeah. I don't know. That's like a really short, not detailed explanation of variable fonts. Obviously,
that's
there's
great.
A lot more to it, but they're super cool. I really like them. Lots of benefits to them.
So from a sort of designer's perspective, I'm trying to learn how to speak again. From a designer's perspective, you've got, like, say you open up Illustrator or Photoshop, you've got your bold, your italic, and your placement alignment. And maybe there's like some things which Adobe will allow you to make a typeface which isn't a true italic, slightly italic. Variable fonts is almost like an extra layer of granularity of being able to edit the feeling of the font from the thinness of the strokes, depending on what the typographer has done.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly what it is. And what I think is really nice about that is because the typographer has made the font to account for that, so they can see the interpolation. So sometimes they'll like create a new instance in it to tweak how it looks at each point. So I guess there's like a lot more care given at those interim states than maybe there previously would have been. But yeah, you do get that granularity, which you kind of would see a lot more in print design, because like you would have lots of different font weights in print design, but on the web there's always been this thing that like you've got to limit it because of performance.